Hi guys, and welcome to C# tutorial of student database management system developed using MySQL Workbench. Okay, now let me show you guys how this works. Here I have the details of Deborah Omen, and if we click on the student records here, as you can see, the details of Deborah Omen is now right there. Okay, so all we need to do is to come over here and just click on new. Well, let me show you guys the database as well. This is the database. The database does not include the details of Deborah Omen. So let's come back in here and click on add. There we go, telling us the system is updated. Click on OK. If we come back in here now, we can see the details of Deborah there, Omen. Okay, and all of the other information, including Deborah's grades, subjects, and so on there, and the date as well right there. So let's come back in here to the university system itself. We can always reset if we want. If we click on reset, there we go, all the information gone. And one other thing is we can come in here to the student records in there and just click. If we click here, we can populate that apart from the guidance details. Okay, now let's just assume we're entering new student details in there. We can change these, okay, to computing. Let's see, let's go for games there, and we can also just change the course, the unit if we want. Just click on it and let's change the grades that we have on the unit, or you can enter a fresh new one. So in here I'm going to enter the guidance details. Let's assume the guidance is the sister, and the sister's name is Grace Johnson, and the name in here is Johnson as well. Let's change that to Johnson, and here we can just change that to Helen. And Helen's student details, we are meant to change that as well. And right here, address, this is number 19 Kingstown. Female, date of birth, let's change that 2001, the month, and days, we change this as well. Telephone number, we can just change that. There we go. And here that's gonna be a Helen there. So the address is going to remain the same, so let's just copy the address, paste that in here. Mobile number, and the email. So come right here, we can just assume the email is Grace at there. That's it. So what we then need to do now to work out the result, we just need to click on result here. You can click on exit if you want. No, we need to enter all of these details. We need to populate it straight into the student records here. As you can see, her details is now there, Helen's details is now there, and we don't also have Helen's details on the database itself. So all we need to then do is just click on add, telling us the data is successfully added straight onto the workbook and the student record. That is Helen details here. So what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to take you guys straight into C# development environment, and we put one of these together. Okay guys, let's exit out and start a new tutorial there. And now I'm going to click on, minimize that, and I'm going to click on create new project, and select C# and then click on next. So let's give this project name. I'm going to call it CS. Let's do that, CS underscore, that will be student MySQL Database there, and I'm going to click on create. Now that my development environment is ready, I'm going to click on properties here, and let's change the font size to 1390 by, I'm going to make that 800. Alright, so the next thing I want to do now is go straight to my toolbox there, and now I'm going to look for tab control. Scroll right down and tab control, there we go. Just drag the tab control that much there. Okay, that's fine. Now the next thing I want to do is, you see right here, I want to change the name, so let's go straight to the properties of this tab control, and I'm going to come in here. You see where we have the tab page, click on that, and let's select the very first one, tab page 1, where we have this text. I'm going to enter in there university system. There we go. For the tab page number 2, I will then enter students records. There, and click on OK. There we go. Now for the university system, I will then come in here. I want to add a panel there, and this very panel that I've just added, let me change the back color of that very panel, and the border style, the back color, I'm going to change that to control, and the border around it, I'm going to make that fixed single. Right. Okay, I'm going to copy this panel across. So let's just come right here, grab and copy. I'm going to go through the properties of that. Let's change this to about, let's say 580 by 285. There we go, that's fine. And right underneath here, I'm going to copy this again, just drag it down and copy one across here. Okay, I'm going to reduce the width of this very one here. Let's change that to about 309. Then I'm also going to copy it anyway. Hold on that and just copy right there. Just drag it that much. There we go. Now I'm also going to copy this and just bring it here. Let's increase it a little bit more. Now let's drag it right down. There we go, that's fine. Okay, now that I have all my panel in place, let's do something. I'm going to come straight to the toolbox there. Let's grab hold of, I'm looking for the monthly calendar. That is it right there. Grab that and just drop it here. About that. Let's go to the properties. I want to display the week or the weeks. That is it right here. On the properties, you see show week number. I'm going to make that true, and there, that's the week number shown. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here. Let's pin this down. I need a label. Grab my label here. Well, I'm going to draw one here for the subjects. So here that is going to be, I'm just going to call it 1, and right in here let's change that to maybe 16, and I will also add a border. Let's see. Yeah, that is fine. Okay, we have 8 units, so I'm just going to copy this across. So hold on to the control, click, drag. That's 2. Okay, we have 4 there. That's 8. And right down here we're going to need some labels here as well as 1 and 2 here. Okay, this very one I'm going to change that auto size. I'm going to make that false for that one, and just I've only done it for one. Okay, for all, let's drag it that much. And for this very one I'm going to change that to, let's say that's going to be total score. The next one is going to be ranking. Then we have date. Alright, now you see the border that is around it. I'm going to get rid of those border. Let's come in here, get rid of that, make that none. Alright, that's good. Now this one I need to change the numbers in them. That's going to be number 2, subject number 2 or module 2. This one will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, that's fine. Then the next thing I want to do now is let's add a combo box, one combo box here, and let's change the size of the content to about 16 as well. 16 regular there, and just copy that combo box across. Or before that, let's add a text box, then we can copy both across. Change the size of that text box to about 16 as well. 16 regular. Okay, select both and just hold on to your control, click and drag. We have 2. Select them all. We have 4 now. And select it all. And we have 8. Now it's more than okay. Alright, let's delete this one. There we go. Okay. This is 7. Let's just undo my delete. Okay, I just need to rearrange it properly. Alright, that's fine. So I'm going to take care of the arrangement, then I will get back to you guys once that is done. Okay, it's all arranged orderly, so let's add some value in there. I'm going to select it all. So let's come in here, just select it all, and right in, I'm just going to make that align is center, and I'll enter 0 in there. There we go. And let's make sure it is, I want to reduce that. I don't want to make it bold. Alright, that is fine. Now let's give individual a name. So this one is going to be txt score for the first grades and so on. So I'm going to speed that up for the others, and that's it, done for this second one, the third one, fourth, fifth, sixth. As you can see, I've changed the names, and this one is now known as CBO module 1, CBO module 2, module 3, 4 up to module 8. Why this label here? I call that LBL total score, LBL ranking, LBL date. And you see this, my tab control, I'm going to change the color of that tab control. So let's come in here. I'm just going to make that cadet blue. I don't want that, I want cadet blue. There we go, that's fine. Okay, let's finish up with the design of this interface. Now the very next one here, this very one, I'm going to add up and down there. So I'm going to change the size of that. Let's go for maybe about 16 or 18. Okay, 18 plain. All right, just 18 regular. All right, and the width of that, maybe something that much. We need about 5 there. Let's get it centered before I copied it. Is it centered? No, center. Hold on to the control, click and drag. We have 2, 4 and 5. So this one, or let's copy this one here, or maybe the date, and just change this around. Change this one to BA. Copy BSc, MA, MSc, PhD. Right. PhD. And this one is going to be known as NUD PhD. This is Masters. That's going to be known as MSc PhD. No. NUD Masters, and this is going to be known as MA Master of Art. So change this one to NUD as well. And this is BSc. Change this to BSc NUD BSc. There we go. And finally this one is going to be NUD BA. Right, they all have a name. That's good. Okay, the next one here, in fact, let's change the width or the length of this. I'm going to change it to something so that I can add my buttons there. That would be 230. Right, and make this 230 as well. Then we can add button underneath. Okay, that's fine. Then we will rearrange it properly. Okay, let's copy. Yeah, let's copy this, or maybe this, bring it here. And we then need ComboBox. Let's go right up there, grab ComboBox. There we go. Yeah, and we need to change that as well. Make that about 18 regular as well. There. And this very ComboBox, or this very one, is going to be known as home students. Right, and inside this ComboBox we're gonna have yes or no. If it's home student, or let's come in here and grab this. and just enter yes or no there, and the default value is going to be no there. So let's just copy this across, hold on to the control, click and drag, repeat the same thing, click and drag. We need just one now, grab, drag. Alright, and here this is going to be known as, let's change this one to overseas student. Okay, then that's accommodation, and here we have exchange student, exchange. Then we have here scholarship. So I'm going to give this each combo box a name. This one is going to be CBO scholarship. There we go. The next one, CBO exchange, and so on, guys. I guess you get that, so I can speed that up as well. CBO exchange, let's speed that up. Okay, all done there. So let's do one thing. Maybe I should even make this one looks a bit pronounced. Let's change, I'm going to make them bold. Let's change that to bold. It looks a bit, yeah, just make it bold. Yeah, that's much better. Repeat the same thing for this, make it bold. Yep, done. Alright, let's add another combo box here, or no, a panel, and this panel is going to be for my buttons. Bring it up, just drag this down much. Okay, now let's add some buttons there. Let's go right up there to grab a button. We have one button, 1, 2, there. I'm going to increase the size of all these buttons. Let's come in here, make it bold. The font is going to be bold on them, maybe about 18 as well. And let's come right here and increase the size of the buttons. Let's say 1 by 47. That is it. So move that up. Okay, that's looking good. Yeah. Okay, just separate it a little bit. And there we go, that's fine. So here I'm going to change that to exit, and that is going to be known as btn exit. And I'm going to change this one to btn result. Text content on it is going to be known as result. Bring it down there, and this is reset, btn reset. This is going to be known as btn add new, and text content is add new. There we go. Let's put a space in there. Alright, that's looking good. We are almost done with the development of the interface. Now I'm going to need, let's take care of up here. Need about 5 there. Now I think I'm going to need about 6. Yeah, I'm going to need 6. Move that. That's 2. We have 4, and we have there 6, and up there I'm going to need a ComboBox. Just drag this very ComboBox. I will change the text content on it to, where is it, here, let's change that to select a course. There we go. And right in here I'm going to go to item. First of all, let's change the name to CBO course. Now let's go to item right there, drop that down, delete that, and I'm going to enter, first of all let's enter the select. Okay, select a course, then underneath I will then enter BSc, let's say serious games, there, and so on. Click on OK. There we go. I need some text box, so let's grab a text box here, already formatted one. Just drag it that much. Get rid of the text content on it. I'm going to align it left, the default value. So let's copy this. Copy. We have 2 and one more here. There we go. And let's change the data in here to course. Then the next one is going to be course code, and so on, guys. Is that course code? Let's speed that up. There, all done. So let's come to the next one here, and I'm going to copy all of the data in here. Just drag it here. Now I need to copy and do that. Hold on to Control, click and drag. There we go. And let's reduce the size of this. And this very one here, let's grab this. Is going to be, that's going to be for the gender. This is going to be student ID. Bring this one up here. And I'm actually going to rearrange it properly so that I can fit it in there. Right. Move that up. And this is going to be here. Okay, let's copy this. Go back in here. Copy. We have 6. Now we're gonna make that 8 now. There. And this is going to be gender. Let's change that to gender first. There. I'm going to speed that up, guys, so that you see what so that we can save time. I mean, so this is first name here, and underneath is going to be surname. Okay, let's speed that up, guys. That is it, done. So here, this is going to be for the guardian, so I'm just going to copy this, about 6 really. So let's do that again. That's 3, 6. Right, bring it down there. So this is going to now become, let's just enter guardian in there, and here we have to swap this around. There's going to be the ComboBox in there. Right, there we go. And here that will be the first name for the guardians, surname, and so on. There. Okay guys, all done, but we have just one more thing to do now. I'm going to go straight to the next tab here, and I want to add DataGridVeiw right there. There we go. There. Bring that down. Good. So that is the design of the interface taken care of. So let's run it, then you guys see what I'm talking about. Let's go back in here and click on run. That's very good. And welcome back to the second part of this tutorial, guys. I'm going to exit out. Then what I want to do now is I'm going to go straight into tools here, and let's select NuGet Package Manager and select Manage NuGet Package for solution. Click on that. So what I want to do now is to search for MySQL here. Let's type in MySQL. Alright, there we go. I'm going to select this very first one and get it installed. Select projects. Once you click on project, you should be able to click on the name of your file as well. Then I'm going to click on install. There. And it is installing right now. Click on OK there, and let's accept the license agreement. There we go. There we go, guys. It's coming up. It's successfully installed. That's fine. So I'm done with that. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here, or let's just create our database first. There, and let's click on, this is my MySQL workbench. I've just opened that up. There, open it again. MySQL workbench, and I will create on this schema right here. Let's click on this schema. There we go. And I need to give my database a name. So okay, I'm going to call the table course DB. Alright, that's fine. That's what I'm going to call the database, course DB. And I will also call the table course DB as well. And let's click on apply. There, make sure you click on apply and apply again. There we go. And click on finish. And right here, that's my course DB there. If you open it down, you see a table. Right click on that table, select create. There we go. And let's just give that a name, course DB. That's it right there. You see this double header? I'm going to drop it down. And right here, let's enter my very first field or column. So that's going to be student ID. The student ID will be my primary key. It's now going to be known, and it's going to be unique value. And right underneath here is going to be the first name, surname, followed by surname, and I'm going to go for address next. Then we have gender. Below that, that will be date of birth, DOB. Then I should have maybe a mobile there, and email, and underneath that I'm going to have the course, then course code there. No, that should be course code. Then I'm going to go for the student details. Here will be home student, underneath that I'm going to have overseas student. Then accommodation, and we're going to see if the student is on exchange program, so we have a column there for exchange. Then the on scholarship, there we go. Now the next thing is the degrees that is the student is studying for. Is it BA, BSc, MA right underneath here, MA, MSc, PhD there. Okay, now that is done, let's take care of the modules. Module 1, so the learner will have to pass 8 different modules depending on which year. Module 2, Module 3, Module 4, Module 5, Module 6, Module 7, and Module 8. There we go. The score also, that will be, let's say, score for each unit, for each module. That will be score number 1. I'm going to need 8 of those as well. Score 1, score 2, score 3, score number 4, score 5, score 6, score 7, and score number 8. And we also need something to store the score, that's total score. Then the ranking, either first class or second class and so on. Then the date. There we go. In total I should have 39 fields or 39 columns. Okay, let's click on apply. There we go. Should be, let's go down and see. There we go. I am right, 39 in total. Now click on apply. So that is my database now ready. So I'm going to minimize that. I don't need that anymore. Okay, let's double click on the form so that we can import the following library. So first of all, let's go here. Underneath here, I'm going to have to import MySQL. So let's say using MySQL. Once you've installed SQL, you should be able to see that .data .mysql client there. So that is taken care of. Now that that is done, right underneath the public partial class, I'm going to declare as follows. So the very first one is going to be MySQL connection, and I'm going to create my own more or less like variable for it. That will be equals new MySQL connection, enter parentheses. There. I also need MySQL Command, so let's come down here and I say MySQL Command. There we go, that's it right there. That will be SQL command equals new as well, new MySQL command. Parentheses. Good. Now what about the table? Data table. That's my data table. I'm just going to call that SQL DT. That will be equals new data table as well. Enter parentheses. Now I'm going to declare SQL query. I'm going to need that. And let's add MySQL data adapter. Yeah, and that I can just call it DTA equals new data adapter. MySQL data adapter. There we go. What else do we need? We do need a reader for it, so that is MySQL data reader. That will be, let's call that SQL RD. There we go. That is fine. So one more thing that I'm going to need will be the data set. So let's say data set. Yeah, I'm going to call that DS equals new data set. There. All done. So the next thing now is I'm just going to say SQL. Let's just call it server. String server equals, that will be local. That will be a local host, right? So I will also declare a variable for the username. So let's say string username. That will be equals root. You should be able to see that on your workbench. Then string password. That will be equals your password. My password is 12345. There we go. And string data, the database. My database is called CourseDB. That is the name of my database. So we can always verify that from my database, CourseDB. Let's see. Yeah, that is correct. You can even copy it. Copy that and just paste it in here and make sure it's the right one. CourseDB. That is fine. All done. Okay, now let's just pull this little function together so that we can use that to open up this database. So I'm going to create a function right underneath this from initialize components. So the function is going to be known as private void update db. There, that's the name of my function, update db. Okay, the very first one that I want, that is going to be SQL connector here, dot connect, dot connection string, dot connection string, and that will be equals the following. The server. The server is going to be the server, so I'm going to grab the server. Let's put that in a quote first, and I'm going to say equals, come out of there, plus the server. Okay, plus the next one is going to be the username. I'm going to grab the username, put that in a quote, equals plus username. There. Now the next one, that will be password. Grab the password again, and right here I'm going to say plus password. Let's put it in a quote, equals password. Alright, so now the next one is going to be, oh, that's password anyway. I will need password here as well. Right here, password. Okay, that is fine. And finally, the database. Let's grab the database. That is the database. Come right here, paste the database there. It should be in a quote. Database. And that will be equals plus database. And that. Alright. Okay, let's just break it into the second line. Okay, there we go, that's it. You guys should be able to see it now. Alright, looking good. Now let's open up this connector. So I'm going to say MySQL right underneath here, dot open, enter parentheses, and I'm going to get the command, SQL command dot connection, that will be equals MySQL connect. And after that, when I want the MySQL command dot command text, that will be equals to as follows. So the SQL statement you want to enter in there, that can be select all from, let's enter a star in there, select all from my database. That's the name of the database, course ID. There. Once that is done, we now want it to get executed using the reader, SQL reader here. So come right down here, SQL reader, that will be equals SQL command dot execute reader. That's the first one. Then we also want the SQL DT right here. That's good. Data table dot load, and load the content we have inside the reader, SQL reader. Alright, so we now want to close up SQL reader dot close, and we also need to close the SQL connect dot close. There, that is it, all done. And finally, whatever data we have, we now want to be able to get that data from the DataGridVeiw dot data source, and the data source is going to be the SQL DT. There we go. Right, so you see this function, we should call that function right away from the form load. That's the form load right there. Okay, or you can always click on the form to open up your form load there. Alright, that is fine. So I'm going to save that and just try it out, though you guys won't be able to see anything yet. Let's just try it out. If there's any error, so that we can get that sorted. If there's no error, then that means the system is fine. Okay, that's fine. Since there's nothing happening, the database is working as expected. Okay, I'm going to exit out. Let's come right here. You see this? I'm going to double click on that so that whatever data we enter in here, we'll be able to get it on board. Double click on that. So I'm going to start by calling MySQL Connect, and instead of writing or reinventing the wheel, I might as well just copy all of this. Copy that, come right down here, let's paste it here. There we go. Alright, so let's use try cache to get the ball rolling. So I'm gonna say try. There we go. Now, first of all, let's ask my connector here, SQL connector, to open up my database. So right in here, ask it dot open there, and enter parenthesis and semicolon. Alright, to take care of this error, let's enter a cache there so that that one won't be disrupting anything for me. So I'm just going to come right down here and just say cache. The cache and exception EX, and let's enter a message in there. So let me say message box dot show EX dot message. So if there's any error, the system will officially generate a warning for us. So that is fine. Okay, so why do we have this? Right, the show must be uppercase. Alright, that's fine. Then let's say finally I also want as follows. I want the system to close my connector, SQL connector, connect dot close. Right, and if everything goes fine, I want a message box there. Let me copy this. Just want the system to tell us if upload or update is successful. So in there we can just say let's say student management system updated, something like that. There, that's good enough. And I will also call my function, that's the function there, update db. There we go. So that is the cache taken care of, and finally, if there's no error, this should be displayed. Okay, now right inside the try here, we want to do as follows. Okay, we want to use the query that was declared up there. If you guys can still recall, I did declare an SQL query. That is it. So this very SQL query I'm going to insert as follows. So let's say insert into my database. The database is called, yeah, that's it, CourseDB. Insert into CourseDB the following. So the first is going to be the student ID, comma, first name, comma, surname, comma, we have address, comma, we have gender, comma, mobile phone, comma, email. Let's move this up so that you guys can see it. We have email, up to email now. So I'm going to comma and just press plus, go to next line, and on the next line I'm going to have my, let's enter course, comma, course code, comma, home student, comma, overseas student, then we have accommodation, comma, we have exchange, that's represent exchange program. Then finally we're going to have for that very row we're going to have scholarship. Alright, that is fine. Yeah, those are the 5 data on one of the panel. So the next panel should have BA, BSc. Okay, let's take it down to the next one. Plus that will be MA, comma, MSc, comma, and PhD. There. Now we have modules, comma, module 1, that is module 1, copy that. I have 8 in total. Module 2, module 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so that is fine. Then the scores for each of the scores, let's and let's say we have score. This will be the score number 1. Let's copy that. We need 8 of those as well. 1, score 2, score 3, score number 4, score 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we then have total score, comma, ranking, comma, and date. Right, that is my fields completed. So now I need to add the value. Where are all these value coming from? All of these are coming from, and they are all coming from here. So the very first one is coming from txt student id dot text. Alright, that's the very first one. And the second one, that would be the first name, comma, apostrophe again, and plus. So the second one, that is going to be txt first name dot text. There. So let's do this. Copy all of these. Yeah. Now the next one, should I just copy this? Yeah, copy this. Okay, copy all of those and just paste that in here. The next one is going to be for surname. txt surname. Paste. Right, we have surname, and after the surname I have address, txt address. Paste. txt no, I think that's going to be cbo gender. Right, there we go. Then we have mobile phone, txt mobile. Paste. Then the next data we have after mobile, that will be date of birth, txt dob. Paste. Right, looking good. So what I'm just doing is adding every single component here straight onto my add new, so that we can add whatever new data that is entered. So maybe just speed that up, then I'll show you guys that. I think based on my arrangement, the mobile phone, or the date of birth, is before mobile phone, dob. So let's change this one to mobile. There we go. Right, and let's kind of like speed up the rest. There, that is it right there. So those are my components on the system from here down here, and this from here up here, those are the fields or the columns on the database. Okay, so let's round up the whole process here. So now we're going to come right underneath here and do as follows. Let's say SQL command equals new SQL command. So let's just enter MySQL command, and this SQL command will take in the following value that is already declared up there. Okay, SQL query, comma, SQL com. There, enter semicolon. Then SQL rows. Oh, come on. So SQL read data, that will be equals SQL command. Okay, SQL command dot execute reader. There we go. Then we now need to close the connector. SQL connector dot close, and that's all there is to it. So we close the connector with this an error. Why? Oh, semicolon, I believe. And this is supposed to be uppercase, I think. Yeah, and that's it. Okay, let's try this out now. If it works, I should be able to add the data straight onto my database and onto the spreadsheet, the DataGridVeiw as well. Okay, so let's run it. Save that first. Let's bring it down a little bit. Now run. Alright, so let's enter some value in here, and the name is, let's say, is Peter Park. $45. It's a Newman Lane. Is male, date of birth, mobile number, and email, Peter at gmail.com. Speed up the rest process. There, so in here I'm just going to select one of the subject. Let's say it's a BA and it's in second year. We need to enter course code in here. I'm going to make that up. Faculty, let's say School of Art. Dean, Doc. Okay, that's a Professor Grace Moore. Program leader, Dr. James. And here, course tutor, let's say Dr. Ayo Joy. There. And here, let's just make this up, select whatever in there, and these other ones, they are all disabled, so that will give us nothing. So decisions time anyway. So let's just try out this. If this information is on the database, we should be able to see it here. So let's go back in there and click on add. There we go. I think there's an error somewhere. Okay, column does not match. Okay, that is at okay, row 1, count at row 1. So it is successful, but let's see. No, it's not. Alright, let's see what was the error. Doesn't match. Look here guys, I think this is where the error is. Date of birth is missing here. Yeah, I believe that is the error. We have gender. There should be DOB. Then we have mobile phone and so on. In total there should be 39. So I'm going to count that. It seems I do have 39 columns now. So I'm going to run it one more time. Click on run. And I'm just going to speed up this whole process here. So let's speed that up. Okay, we've got this populated. Let's populate this. And the course code is BSc. There. Faculty, School of Computing. Professor Dave Morehouse. Right, and course leader Dr. Sammy Stone. Dr. King Larry. Alright, so I'm going to leave the rest the way it is. Just populate this one. Hopefully we should have enough records now in there. Okay, try it out again. Yeah, it is successful. Click on OK. And if I click in here, there we go. That's the data that I've just entered. That's good. Right, there's nothing in here. The 3 total score, ranking and date. And if I come in here now, let's go to my database. There's nothing in here. So I did, no, I think it's this one. That's the wrong database. So let's come in here. Yeah, it's this one. There we go. That's it right there. Okay, let's minimize that. Okay, what I'm going to do next is when I come to the student record here, I want to be able to click on this data in here and everything should be displayed in here once the reset is enabled and these 3 other buttons are working accordingly. So let's exit out there and I'm going to go to the design view. Okay, I will then go straight to the student record here and select this DataGridVeiw. Let's go to the property of that DataGridVeiw and I want to use, you see it here where we have cell click. Okay, I'm going to double click on that. That is the event I want to use. So I will start by entering try, and right underneath here I'm going to add cache exception there. So I'm going to say the exception is an EX. There we go, and enter curly braces. Now I will add the message box here just to handle the whatever error that I might run into. Dot show ex dot message. So that would be my error handler. Now up here within the try, what I want to try and achieve is enter the name of every single component. You see every component that I have in here. Where's the design? All of these components that I have in here, I'm going to start with the student ID. So let's go back in here. So let's say txt student ID dot text that will be equals to DataGridVeiw1 dot selection selected rows. Okay, the selected role is going to be row 0 dot cells, and on my very first cell the first one is 0. No, that should be the square bracket. There we go. Dot value dot to string and enter parentheses. That's the very first one. So when I click on that, this should display. Okay, I'm going to copy this and I will use it for the following. So the next one is going to be first name. Change that to first name. We have surname here. And after the surname I have an address. Then here I have gender. That's a ComboBox. Right. So I will have to change the value for each of these cells. The value here is 1. This one is 2, 3, 4. Let's add some more. I think I need 3 more for that very side. It's 8 in total. Now here I'm going to enter DOB, date of birth. Then we have mobile phone here, mobile, and here we have the email. There we go. So this will be 5, 6 and 7. There, all taken care of. So the next one I want to take care of now is going to be for the courses. So right here I've taken care of all of these. I want to take care of 1, 2. Okay, because for my database I haven't included faculty, dean of faculty, program leader, or course tutor. If I run it now, let me run it so you guys see what I'm talking about before we continue with the others. So if I go back to my student records here and I click on that column there, okay, now you guys get the whole idea. I'm going to add 1, 2 and all of these ones and these ones. So I will leave out the guidance details. You guys can always add it on yours if you want to. So let's go back into my codes. Double click on that. That is it right here. So the next one is going to be another ComboBox, and that's here. So let's change this one to a ComboBox. CBO course. Then we have txt course code there. So that's going to be 8, 9 there. Okay, now the next one here is going to be for the student accommodation. So let's copy this. It's a ComboBox. So 1, 2, 3. I have 5 of those anyway. They are ComboBox. So this one will be 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. And this ComboBox, the very first one here, is going to be known as home student. Then followed by overseas student. Right. After that, we have accommodation. There we go. And we then have here, why do we have this error? Accommodation. What did I call that very component? Let's go back to the component and see what is called here. Yeah, okay, there's an A there instead of O. Let's change the name properly. Right there, that's the right spelling. Okay, let's go back to my codes. I think I may have to, yeah, that's fine now. Now after that, the next one here is going to be exchange. Just like the full details should have been exchange program, but I just call it exchange. Then here that will be scholarship. There, all done. So the next one is going to be the number up and down. So let's come down here. I'm just going to copy all of this. Just copy that, come right down here. NUD, yeah, that's the first one. Paste. That will be 15. NUD, paste, that's 16. NUD, Master of Arts, paste, 17. NUD, Master of Science, that's 18. NUD, that'll be the PhD then. There we go, paste, and that will be 19. There. Okay, the next one that we want to take care of now is we want to take care of the modules. Here are the modules. There. Okay, and the first one is called module 1. Look at it. So I'm going to grab that, go back into my code. Module 1, that's 20. Copy that, paste that in here, make that 20. Okay, we have 8 in total, so that is 8 of those in total. Paste. Okay, I'm going to change this one to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then here will be 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right. And the next one is TXT score. TXT score. Score 1. Grab all of these. Paste. I have 8 of those as well. So let's copy this and change, and just change it around. Right. So this is score number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And 8. Alright, so this will be 28, 29. Remember, this is in form of an array, and this is 30. That is why the first value starts from 0. We have 31 here, 32, 33, 34, 35. We need 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. So this one is 36, 37, and 38. In total, that's 39, like I said. There we go. 38. And this is going to be known as LBL date. LBL, this one, LBL ranking, and this one is LBL total score. There we go. And that is it, all done for the cell click. So have a good look at the lines of code for the cells click. Bring it down and down. There, all done. So let's save that and run it. Okay guys, so if I come into the student record, I should be able to just click here, and all of the data that I have in here should populate every single component there. Okay, the only one that will be empty will be those 3. So let's just click on that and go in here. There we go, look at it. And these 3 are empty. These ones that I don't have on the database, they are all empty. Okay, that is fine. Now let's take care of our resets, then we can proceed on to these other 2. Now for the resets, go back in here, double click on the reset button. I'm going to use a for each so that I can easily take care of the resets. So let's say control C in panel 1 dot controls. So panel 1 that I'm referring to is this very panel here. Okay, so if I come in here now, you see that that's panel 1. So this one is panel 2, and this one right here at the far end here is panel number 3. Then we have panel 7. This should be panel 4, 5. Panel 6 is for my button, so I won't be dealing with that. So let's go back into my reset. Double click on the reset. So for panel number 1, enter curly braces. I'm going to use an if statement. If C is a text box, there we go. Okay, if it's a text box, all we just want you to do is just to clear it. Okay, let's say C dot clear. So we can just say C dot text equals clear. There, that's one method that we can use that clears it. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys 2 different methods. If I run it, let's run it and see. Now come in here, let's click on this to populate that and click on clear. There, that is it. The only one that is not clear is the gender, so we can take care of the gender in here as well. So we can just say CBO gender and just clear that. There we go. That should also take care of gender for us. So let's try that out again. Run. And there we go. Select that. There, clear or reset. There we go. You see that, guys? So that's what I want to achieve. I want to be able to just click on the button and clears it all. I'm going to copy this. That's for panel 1. Paste that in there. This is going to be for panel number 2. Panel 2. For panel 2, we have course. Yeah, we have course in there. There. Panel 2 is taken care of. So if I run it, run. I'm coming here. Click on that. Now, click on reset. There we go. Panel 2 is taken care of as well. But as for panel 2, I would like it to default back to select a course right there. Okay, so let's go back in there. And right here, I'm just going to change that to select a course. There we go. That's fine. Now, I said I was going to show you guys another method. So for panel 1 and 2, that's cool. Let's go for panel 3. On panel 3, changes to panel 3. I have a text box there, and I also have ComboBox on panel 3. So I'm going to change everything in here on panel 3 to, let's say, instead of just using c.clear, this is another method that you guys can use, specifying the object that we are working on. The object is a text object, as you guys can see, and in here I'm now going to specify c.clear. Okay, so just say dot clear. Let's see, does it have that? C dot, oh, close the bracket, dot clear. There, you either use c dot clear or c dot text equals clear, but you must enter parentheses in here and your semicolon. That is for panel number 3. Okay, and it works exactly the same way. So I'm going to delete this because that does not belong to panel 3. So let's try out panel 3, but before then we have ComboBox. I'm going to copy panel 3 again, paste that underneath here. We have ComboBox that we want to clear for panel number 3 as well. So let's just change the object to ComboBox there, and this object will be ComboBox as well. There we go, done. Okay, in the case of ComboBox, doesn't have the method clear, so we have to use text equals clear. There we go. So that should take care of panel number 3 with the ComboBox. So let's run that before we take care of the other 3 panels. Run. There we go. Now let's populate it. There. Reset. There we go. Look at that. That's cool. Okay, you see these ones, I would like it to default back to 0. Okay, I want zeros in there. So let's see, do I have 0 when it runs? No, there's no 0 when it runs. So yeah, there is 0. So let's default it back to 0. So when we click, that should default back to 0. So panel 3, yeah, panel number 3, I'm going to change this to text. You see, that is where the text come in handy. Paste that in there. Instead of clear, enter a 0 in there. Okay, Now let's take care of panel number 4, 4, 5 and 7. Panel 4, change this to 4. Panel number 5, paste, that is 5. Panel 7, and that is 7. Panel 4, we have ComboBox on panel 4, so let's get rid of this one. That should have been ComboBox. Select the one with ComboBox. ComboBox here, that's 4. Panel 5, we have numbers up and down. It's not a ComboBox we have in there, so I'm going to change the objects here to number. Oh no, it's called numeric up and down. Yeah, 1, and add another one here, numeric up and down, and it always default back to 0. Why here panel number 4 is the default value is no, so enter a no in there. Now panel number 7, we have TextBox, and I think we have one DataGridVeiw there. No, one ComboBox. Now let's run it and see. Run. Now for panel 7 we need to take out the 0. We don't need the 0 here for panel 7. But if I clear the whole content on panel 7 here, zeros will be added. So reset, you see that? So let's get rid of that, and we need to find a way to clear this as well. So this one is called exit out. I think that one is called get rid of that 0, and that is called CBO, yeah, guidance. That clear. There we go, and that takes care of my reset. So take it from the top, reset button. Panel 1, 2, 3. Panel 3 again with the ComboBox. Panel 4, panel 5, and panel number 7. The important thing is you must know the objects that you want to clear. Okay, I have 3 different objects: TextBox, number up and down, ComboBox. So let's run it one more time. So that is my clear taken care of, guys. Populate it and click on reset. There we go. Okay, now let's take care of result. Exit out, come right here, double click on results. With the results, I'm going to declare an array int. So that array, I'm going to call it unit. The unit equals new integer. Let's make that maybe 9. Okay, 9 is fine, and enter semicolon here. There. Now unit 0. Unit 0 is going to house whatever I have inside. It's called number 1. But since each of these components that you guys are looking at only accepts string character, I'm going to have to convert it. So there's a standard method to convert, so I'm just going to enter convert dot to string, no, dot to int 32. And what are we converting? We're converting the data inside score dot text box. So that's the very first one taken care of. So I'm going to copy that and change that for the next one to, there we go. So this is going to be score number 2, txt score 2, score 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have 8. Why this one is array always start from 0. That's 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There we go, all done. Now that all of that is done, what I want to do next is I will now want to use an if statement to determine the value. So if you enter anything greater than 100, I want the system to default it back to 0. So let's do this first. Well, before that, I'm going to add up everything in here. So let's say come right down here, paste that, and just change that to 8. 8 equals, we want to add up everything that we have in here. That's 2 we have now. So copy that. That's 4, 6, 8. Let's put it all in a bracket. Okay, this one will be 0, 0, 1 here. 2, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Enter semicolon there. So whatever the total is stored inside 8. Now let's store the total straight into LBL total score. LBL total score dot text equals, we then need to convert it back to string. Dot convert to string. And what are we converting to string? We're converting this to string. Grab that, drop it here, semicolon here. That is it, taken care of. Okay, now that that is done, see underneath here, let's do one thing before I proceed. I'm going to use an if statement. If unit 8 is greater than equals to 700, and I want ranking. Okay, LBL ranking dot text equals first class. Okay, that's a first class student there. That is my very first condition. Else if, grab this, else if it's 600 greater than equals to 600, we change that to second class upper. Second dot I class upper. Alright, the next one is second class lower. So with the second class lower, let's make that 500 and above. 500 and above. So this is second class lower. Now here we have 400. Yeah, 400. We'll make that. That's 400 here, and we'll make that third class. Okay. Now the next condition is going to be 300. Whatever we have in here. If it's 300, that will become certificate of higher education. Right, then the last condition is, let's say 299. That is going to be a fail. There. So those are my conditions in place. Now finally, before I do any other thing, you see these very calendar there. I now want that calendar to tell us the day of the award. So in here, underneath here, I'm going to say LDL date, there we go, dot text equals month calendar 1 dot select start dot, I'm going to use this format, dot to long date string. There, that is it, taken care of. Alright, now we need one more thing, but before that, let's try out these lines of code. Have a good look at it. I'm going to come in here. Okay, you see all of this, because it's already disabled, I'm going to select it all, go to the properties and enable them. Where is it? Enable, so that we can change the data in there. There, run. Okay, if we come in here now, we can enter whatever value we want to enter, and there we go. Then click on result. There, that is it right there. Now the other problem is we can enter that in there. When we click on that, that is invalid. Okay, that's more than 100. So we need to find a way to take care of that. Okay guys, as you can see, we are able to enter over 100 here, and that is not right. So we need a way out. So I'm going to exit out, and let's go back to our result. Double click on the result. Back here inside the code view of the result, you see right here, I'm thinking maybe I should enter those conditions right underneath here. Let's see, but I want the system to have a look before any other thing. Okay, let's try this first. Here, so I'm going to use an if statement. If unit 0 is greater than 100, all I just want is for the text box to get cleared. Come right down here, let's say text box txt score 1 dot text equals, okay, no, we defaulted back to 0. Yeah, we don't clear it, just defaulted back to 0. There we go, that's the very first one. So I'm going to have to repeat the same thing for the other text box. That would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so we have number 1 here. So that's 1. Array number 1, that will be text box number 2. 2 here, this will be 3, 3, 4, 4 and 5 here, 5 and 6, 6 and 7, 6, no, 6, yes, 6 and 7. Then we have 7 here, 7, and we have 8 here, so we don't need this. Okay, that is it, all done. Let's try it out again. If it's more than if it's more than 100, it should default it to 0. So let's run it. There we go. Okay, results, check that out. You see, get it defaulted back to 0, but I want this cleared. Okay, default it back to 0 and give us the correct value. That's how I want it. Alright, that's fine. Okay, my reset is not clearing 1, 2 and 3, so let's do those ones separately. Let's go into the reset, double click on reset, and right underneath here I'm just gonna enter those LBL score dot text equals clear. There. The next one is LBL ranking. Paste. LBL date. Paste. So the clear is taken care of for those. Run. Enter values in there. There we go. Okay, click on clear. There. That is fine. Okay, the next thing we want to do now is, you see, I can enter any character in here. That shouldn't be allowed. Okay, if we click on results, it's going to give us an error straight up. There we go. We have an error. Okay, so we can either use try cache to handle some situation in there. Let's say we have try cache. Let's see what's going to happen with the try cache. All right, try, and bring this right down here, and let's see what's going to happen with that. And cache, let's say exception ex, and let's come right down here, say message box dot show, and there. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen with the try cache instead of it crashing on us. Okay, I'm gonna save that, run, enter string character in there, try this out. There we go. You see, it didn't crash on us, which is very good. There. Okay, that is fine. Look at that. So I prefer that. So that's the one of the advantages of this error handler method, try catch. So that's good. I like that. And another way out is we can always come in here. Let's select all of these text box, select it all, and I'm going to go straight into the property here. I just want to prevent it from accepting anything but numeric values. So let's look for this event called key press. Inside the key press, I'm going to give that a name. I'll call it buttons only. Press enter. Okay, with the buttons only, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an if statement. If the data entered is not char, okay, this stands for not, this very one here is not char, dot is control, okay, open up a parenthesis, e dot key char, all right, and is not char dot is digit, open up a bracket again, and e dot key char. If it's not of those, then we want event e dot handle, we want that to be true to undo the problem, and which means do not accept any other thing. There, that is another way out. Okay, look at it, simple line of code. I'm going to save that, I'll run it, and let's see if we can enter any character into the system. Okay, this is it. I'm using my keyboard, you guys cannot see anything, so let me open up my on screen keyboard, click right in there. See, I can enter values in there, but can I enter characters? No, I cannot enter character. Let's go to the next one here. No character is acceptable. Well, we can just enter values straight away. Okay, that is one advantage of that. So that's good. So exit out. There. Okay, then now the other thing is, let's come in here. Supposing the system is empty. So if the text box is empty, when you click on any of these, if it's empty, I want the focus to be there. So I'm going to go back to the events again. Okay, but make sure your data are selected, make sure the components are selected. So let's look for mouse click right here. So I'm going to give that a name as well. Let's just call it click text box. There. So with a click text box, it's going to be very simple. First of all, let's create an object, and this object I'll just call it, let's say C. Now we can call it T. It's a text box. T equals object, and this object is going to be sender. There we go. So all we then need to do is T dot text equals clear. If T dot text equals clear, then T dot focus. Okay, that is it, done. Okay, when you click on it, if it's cleared, you get your cursor in there flashing just like this. Okay, if you want to try that out, let me show you guys how it works. There we go. You can see the cursor right in there flashing. Okay, the other thing is, when we move our mouse away from there and we didn't enter any value, I would like it to default back to 0. Okay, this is not acceptable, else we will end up with error. Look at that, error handler take care of that. Alright, so let's go back in there and select every single component again and come right to the properties. Now I want to use another method or another event known as mouse leaves. Mouse leave, that is it right there. So I'm just going to call it mleave. There we go. Press enter. With the mleave, the following is going to take place. So I'm going to use it for each control. Let's say T in panel 3 dot controls. Okay, for each control T in panel 3 dot control, I want the following. Now using an if statement, if T is a text box, okay, if it's a text box, that's one. Let's use another if statement here. If it's a text box, and if T dot text equals nothing, then we want T to default back to 0. Okay, we can grab this. Let's paste this here and change this to 0. There, that is it taken care of. So when you move out of the text box without nothing, it will just default back to 0. That's another way to handle the error. All these are just validation or error handlers that I've just entered in there. Run. Let's see what's going to happen with this one as well. Okay, click on that. Once you click on it, you can see the cursor is flashing, but I'm going to move the mouse away now. There we go. You see that? Flashing cursor, nothing entered. So that is not allowed. Else we will end up with 0. We just end up with another error. Okay, it's good to prevent that. Alright, and look there, there's nothing in there. I can see add up my whatever, and if I enter value in there, there we go. Alright, click on reset. That is fine. Now I don't want to be able to just start entering data in here, so I want to use this. If I select this, it should enable this and the cursor should be flashing in there. So let's come back in here, select every single component again and disable it. So come in here, enable equals false. Where is it? Right there, equals false. You won't be able to enter anything except by using through the ComboBox, the subject area. Let's see now. There we go. So when I select this, that will enable this. Okay, good. So double click on this very ComboBox. With the first ComboBox selected, I'm going to use an if statement. So let's say if CBO 1 model 1 dot text equals, that should be equals that. Then when I want txt score number 1 dot text equals 0. Okay, and instead of it still being enabled, we have to disable it. Dot enable equals false. There. Else if, no, else, not else if, else, what's going to happen? We want this, we want this to become true. Grab this, that will become true. And the text box itself will become empty for us to be able to use it. Text box become clear, and we also want the text box, the mouse to focus here. Dot focus. There we go. That is fine. So I'm going to copy that. Copy it. And let's run it first before we continue with the others. See. Okay, click and there. Okay. So we can enter value in there. Look, my mouse is not in there. Right, if we go back, there we go. There. And nothing is added. There we go. So that's fine. Now let's do number 2. Double click on number 2. Paste whatever I've just copied and just change the names. That is 2, 2, and 2. That's good. Number 3. Repeat the same thing. Paste. Come on. 4 and 4 here. 5. No, that's number 3. It's not a 4. It's 3. 3. 3. Okay. Number 4. Paste. That's 4. 4. 4. There. 5. Paste. And this becomes 5. There we go. We have 6 then. Paste that for 6. 6, 6. And we have another 6 here and another one here. 7. Paste for 7. Come right down here. We have 7. Yeah. Then finally 8. That's 8, 8, 8. Alright, that is fine, all taken care of. Save that and run it. Run. Okay, let's try it out. There we go. There. If I move straight in here without entering data in there, look at what's going to happen. Let's do that again. You see, look at that. Okay. Once the mouse moves, and that's it. Alright. So that is taken care of. Now one other thing is, you see, the dates can be changed. Okay, we want to be able to change the date. So let's do one thing. Let's come back in here. The date. I have the date in here. Double click on that. Scroll right down. The date is right here. I'm going to copy that very date. There we go. Grab that. And double click on this. paste. So that should take care of the date. Okay guys, let's take care of these very ComboBox there. So when we select any data on that ComboBox, I will actually want it to populate the rest. However, let's start with if cbo course dot text equals select a course, then in that case I want it to be, let's copy this inside the reset button here, come right down here, reset, double click on that. That is number 3, no, it's number 2 there. I want you to clear it. Okay, back in here and double click on that and paste the statement in there, and we'll get rid of this. So if it's selected, all of the text box should be empty. Right, that's my very first condition. Then this next condition is going to be else if this, let's say if it is, let's say BSC serious game, BSC serious games, and I want this following to happen. All of this text box, the first one txt course code dot text, that will be equals, that's a BSC SG 009 there. That's the course code for serious game. Then the faculty dot text, we can call that School of Computer Games. There we go. Now txt dean, the dean of the faculty, dot text dot text, that will be, let's say professor, let's enter a quote here, Danny Morehouse. There we go. Then txt program leader dot text, that will be, it's a Professor Peter Parker. Course leader txt course tutor dot text, that is equals, it's a Dr. Sammy Southend. There we go. There. So those are the conditions. If it's empty and if this serious game is selected. So let's run it and make sure those two works first before I continue. Now drop this down, select serious game. There we go, look at that. And the first condition clear, you see that there. Okay, that's fine, it's working as we want. Now let's speed up the other. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 more conditions to go. So I'm going to copy this and just populate it. Copy that and change the data in there. Paste. So I'm going to repeat that for the others and get back to you guys. Okay guys, all of the conditions are in place now. There we go. That's the very first one, the second condition, and so on. There. Alright, so let's run it and see how it's gonna work. Run. Okay, let's say the course is computer science and it happens to be an home student, and let's say it's not an home student, it's an overseas student. Okay, we need to complete this. Look here, that's incorrect. Go back in there and let's change that to overseas student. Right, now I'm going to move this one back a little bit, select it all, just bring it down and back a bit. Alright, that's fine. Let's run it again. Run. Enter student details in there. Okay, and the name happens to be, let's say, Ellen Penny. Address number 16. Goodman Close. That's a female. Date of birth and let's say 98. Telephone number, and let's just speed up the rest process. Alright, so let's come in here now and select a course. Let's say it's computer games. There we go. Overseas student, accommodation, yes. Exchange program, yes. And scholarship, yes. And that will be final year. Okay, alright, so if it's 4 years, we're talking about a sandwich course. Now come right in here, enter, just enter the grades in there. Software testing, Raspberry Pi, and let's see computer games there. All we then need to do is click in here, results. There, say there's an error. We're missing out something there, so let's enter. That's good. There we go, second class student. There, that is it, taken care of. And if we come in here, the details is not there yet, so all we then need to do is to click on Helen, or click on add new there, and right here that is Ellen's details. Now let's check our database if Ellen's details is there as well. Click on the database, get it opened. Okay, open our database, and that is Ellen's details right there. There we go guys. Okay then, minimize that. Now we need to take care of exit. So double click on the button exit, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to declare as follows: dialog results as I exit, and I exit equals message box button, or message box dot show as follows. So the message is going to be confirm if you want to exit. Right, so that's my very first argument. The second argument is going to be the title student database system. There we go, comma. Then the next argument that I'm going to use is going to be message box button. Do that again. Message box button. This very one, double click on it. Dot yes or no. Comma, the last argument is going to be message box icon. Dot question. Enter semicolon here. There. So now let's use an if statement. If I exit equals dialog result dot yes, then we want the application to officially exit. So let's just say application dot exit. There we go. That is it. Exit taken care of. There. Now let's save that. Run our program. There we go. We can populate it like I showed to you guys earlier. Let's click on that and we'll populate that. Enter whatever you want to enter in there, and let's enter let's change this. Let's change the name of this so that we save that as well. So let's say is Grace Little, and change the address of Miss Little, 12 Hall Close, female, date of birth. And mobile number, change that. And this will be Grace. Right. Let's say that's the course she's studying. And change all of this. She's not overseas student, accommodation, exchange, no. And scholarship, no. There. And we can just change some of this. And there we go. So the uncle's name is going to be, let's say, Peter Little, or Pierre, something like that. Pierre Little. And the same address. Here at Gmail. And mobile number. Grab all of this, paste that in here, change the last 5 digits. There we go. And if you come in here, we need to change that, else we will end up with error. Okay, I've changed the student reference. If we come in here, the details of Little is not there, so let's go back in here, Grace Little, and just click on add. But before that, right here, look at my database, Little is not in there as well. So now click on add. There we go. Come to the student records, Miss Little's details is there, and the database. Now click on refresh. There we go. That's Miss Little's details as well. So that is all there is to it, guys. Now let's check out the exit button. Click on that. No, I don't want to exit. And yes, I do want to exit. There we go. That is it. And that is how you develop your own student database management system using C#. So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed, and please do subscribe to my channel, and you can also join to become a member of the channel. For channel members, there are a lot of benefits. You all have a nice day, and bye for now.